Okay, this is an exciting class. It's our last microbits class. I hope you've had fun. I hope you've enjoyed coding. And I hope you've explored some of the other makecode.microbit.org coding programs and tried out some things on your own. Remember, these are very inexpensive little computers and you can get one of your own, but after this is done and you get your video sent in to us, then you will need to unassemble your robot and take it apart and at least, or your micropet, and then send back the microbit kit for other kids to be able to enjoy in the district. So here we go with our last class. We have two parts to the class today. We're going to start by making sure that our creature, our micropet, or whatever you've created, is all ready to go. And I've purposefully started at a point where I'm not quite done so that you can see my struggles, because I guarantee you it's probably not going to work that well. I decided to make a giraffe because I like giraffes and they make me happy. So here's my little giraffe body. It's pretty flimsy right now. I'm going to have to add some strength. Here's my little giraffe head. The head, I'm a little worried, is going to be heavy. It's a little heavy, and so I'm hoping the engine's strong enough. But this is back to the idea that you have to try and see if it works. So I haven't put my engine in yet, just in case you haven't done that yet. And I've got to add the engine in a way that's going to make the head go up and down the way I want. Now, if I put the engine in like this, if I put it in like this, I'm going to lower this down a little bit so that you can see my work a little bit better. Maybe I'm going to lower it down. Here we go. Oh, okay. So here's this micro bit. If I put it in like this and tape it in like this, then when I stick this stick on it, it's going to just roll around like this and it's not going to do much else. I want it to go up and down. So I'm going to need to make sure that I put the engine on sideways like this. Now there's a couple ways I could do that. I could just tape it here on the front and that would work. Or I could cut a hole and have it come through the side. I think I'm actually going to cut a little slot on my guy. So let me show you what I mean by that. I'm going to take him and I'm just going to cut a little slot here for the micro bit to fit in. Let's see how big it is. About this big. So I'm going to want to cut it off right there. Actually, maybe I won't even cut it off. Maybe I'll just fold it down and then that'll give me something to tape it to. All right, and the reason I did that is that I want my micropet to have this head out to the side so that it can go up and down. So I've made a little slot for that, and now I need a whole lot of tape to make it stay like that. So I'll start with just one piece. I like to use Scotch tape just because it doesn't show up as much, but you can use any tape for this. Now you'll notice my micropet is still really wobbly, and I'll fix that later. But for right now, I have to decide, do I want the neck there or down here? I think I like it with the wires at the bottom so that I'll be able to wire that later. So here he is. I'm just gonna kind of fix him onto this bit. Okay, being careful not to tape over this part that's gonna move. It's gonna be a little weird because his head's gonna be kind of to the side, but that's all right. All right, now how much do I want his legs to move? Probably about that much. So I'm gonna tape this part on. Right down here. Okay, let's see how that's doing. His legs are pretty far apart, aren't they? I'm gonna have to fix that. So let's pull his legs sort of closer together and do one across the front. Just being careful that I don't get the tape over this moving part or sticking out on this little moving part. So I've just got to tape it, and I'll tell you what, sometimes your parents tell you don't use so much tape. I'm going to tell you right now, you need a lot of tape to make this work. Too little tape and your guy's going to fall apart. So getting this taped on here in a way that it's really, really strong, and my legs are going to stay up and my engine's not going to fall off. Let's see, I don't have any tape on this part, so I'm going to put a little there. Oh, that's getting strong now. Maybe one more across the front to hold the whole thing together. So I'm going to tape across the front of my giraffe. Oh, that's a really, really strong piece. Okay, my giraffe has the engine taped on. It's got the little piece there. Now I need to think about my moving piece and how am I going to attach something to it that will fit on right here and make it go up and down. So I'm gonna go back to my little packet like I showed you before and look at all the different choices of end pieces. I'm gonna look for one that's gonna work for me today. Since I'm just attaching it to a stick, I think I'm gonna choose this skinny one because I can tape it to both sides of the stick and make it really stay. And I think it'll be really clear out here. If I tape this on, then it can stick on like this. So do you see that? So now I have to get this taped onto my stick really, really strong. Oops, let's see here. I'm gonna put that on the edge and then I'm gonna go around a lot of times without getting the tape in the way of this little hole. So that's not gonna get in the way of the movement. And if I have extra back here, I can always just cut that off if I can find my scissors. Here they are. Okay, get another piece of tape and just make sure I've got his head on there nice and tight and hopefully straight. Oh, you see that? And again, trying really hard not to get anything sticking out. So I've got it taped on there really hard, squeezing it, but making sure, there we go, that I didn't block this with the tape at all. So that's got to be clear so that it can move. Let me try it on and see how that works. So I'm going to take the little piece now and fit it onto this. Oh, my head's on. Let's see if he stands up. He does not. He falls over. So this is where I told you run into some sorts of engineering problems. So his head is too heavy. Now I can do a couple of things. To fix this, I could put a weight on the back and just tape something heavy back here to hold him up. Or I can move his head down, but I want a long neck because he's a giraffe. So I'm gonna look around for something heavy I could tape on the back of my guy. The other thing I told kids they can do at school is you actually can take tape and you can tape your Micropet's feet to the table, and that also will hold it up. So for right now, I'll tape him to the table. Let me look around the room and see what I can find that would be heavy. I don't see much right now. I might have to work on this later. I don't have much that's very heavy around here right now. But who knows, maybe, I just have to try until I found something heavy enough to put on him. I could just tape like something like this to his back leg, and that would just be sort of stuck to him, but it would make it so that he wouldn't fall over. So if I take him and I untape him from the table, I think we taped a lot of them down last year, to tell you the truth. So now if I just take whatever's heavy and tape it to his back leg, he's gonna stand up. Oops. So I'm just gonna tape him to this heavy thing and see if that does it for us. It's a little weird to have him taped to a paint container, but hey. Okay, so now I've got him taped to the paint container. Let's see what happens when I put his head on. Let's see if he falls over. Okay, hold your breath that it's gonna work. But if it doesn't work, I'm not gonna freak out. I'm just gonna try again because that's what engineers do. Yay, he stood up. Look how cute my giraffe is. Oh, he's so adorable. Now we need to do the programming and attach it to him so he'll work. So I'm just gonna kind of set him aside for a minute, move some things out of the way so you can see the next piece of this. We're gonna do the hardwiring next and get him all ready to go. And then we'll do the programming last, okay? So you're gonna need, for this part, you're gonna need your Micropet in a minute. You're going to need your USB connector that will connect your Micropet to the computer. So set those aside. You're gonna need your battery pack to power it. Let's see, all my little screws and doodads are out. Let's put those back in because remember, you're gonna wanna return most of this stuff to the school when you're done with it. I say most because obviously if you've taped something or glued it to your Micropet so much that you can't get it off, then I understand that. But we really do need those little servo engines back so that the next group can use them. Okay, let me move all this stuff out of the way. Uh-oh, my Micropet's threatening to fall. The last thing you need are these, and they are your wiring, your alligator clips. And I don't know if they sent you 2 kinds of alligator clips or 1, but you're gonna want the alligator clips that have these little sharp ends on them. And you're gonna need 3 of those. So go ahead and undo them. If you have a little wire thing, just put that back in your bag. Try to keep all the bags so they don't get lost. Keep it all in your big bag so you don't get it lost. I'll put mine back in the big bag. And that's what you need for today. So again, you're gonna need your Micropet, that's 1. Your USB connector, that's 2. Your battery pack, that's 3. Your servo engine, that's 4. And 3 of these wire alligator clips. Okay, doesn't really matter what color. I like to have 1 black and 2 red just so I can tell which is my grounding wire because it needs to be in a certain spot. All right, we're ready to do the hard wiring. So keep your battery pack loose because you'll attach it later. And your Micropet, let's go ahead and not plug it into the battery pack right now. So we'll have it plugged into the USB ready to program, which is great. To attach the wires to it, actually, I wonder if we shouldn't program it first. Let's program it first. Okay, so let's take a break and go to Make Code and do the programming of the Micropet first, and then we'll do the rest of this. So I am going to share my screen with you. I'm going to close this one for a minute and just go to the speaker view. And then remember, I'm going to go back to makecode.micropet.org. So let me get on my screen and go to, I've got it on my desktop here, so makecode.micropet.org. Perfect. And let's do some programming. So today we're going to have to communicate with our servo, and we're going to have to teach it how to rotate. So that'll be what we're working on today. You can see I already have my alligator pet code here. So I'll just kind of show you the final code. Actually, I think I'm just going to build it with you. So I want you to click on New Project, and let's name it. You can name it whatever you want. Micropet. I'm going to call it Giraffe. And I'm going to click Create. Creating new project. And it takes a long time when I'm sharing my screen, so bear with me. And it opens. Great. This time, since we're going to kind of set up our pets and we want them to keep going for a while because that's fun because you can watch them go, we're going to put it, well, you can do it on start if you want, but then it'll just move a tiny bit and stop. So I'm going to get rid of my on start, throw it away, and I'm going to use my forever. Great. The next thing I'm going to want is actually show LEDs. And the reason I want this is that this is the piece of coding that we use to tell it which way to go. Now we want that little rotor to turn first one way and then the other way. So I'm going to start out and I'm going to make an arrow on here. I'm actually going to color an arrow that's going to say start out by turning to the left. It's kind of a funny way to communicate with it, huh? So you're going to want to put in show LEDs and then highlight a left turn arrow. Now, when these things turn, you have to tell them like how fast to turn. So we want to add a pin because we're using these little pin servos things to make them go. And you're going to have to probably click on advanced to get down to your pins and click on through. And down here, you can see one that says pins. It's got a target on it. Click on your pins and you're going to look for one that says add pin. So let's see, it's not right there. Let's go servo right pin. Is that right? Add pin, scroll to find servo will go. I think it is this one. I don't know why I wrote will go. Servo right pin. Okay. So in this case, you want it set to start at 0 degrees. Right now it says 180 degrees. There's 360 degrees in a circle. So the beginning is right at 0. So we're at the start. We're going to take the value and turn it down to 0. You can type that in or you can just move the value to 0. So we're going to start at 0. And then I want my head to go up and down. So if I'm only going this far, that would only be How many degrees? 90 degrees. If I want it to go all the way here and all the way here, that's 180 degrees. Like my alligator, I think I had to do 180 degrees, which maybe was too much. If I only want it to go a little bit like a tongue, then maybe I'll set it to 45 degrees, but we're going to start at 0. Now to see the servo move, you need to give it a pause. So we're going to go back and we're going to add a pause. Servo right pin to 0. Let's see here. Does this say pin? Right pin? No. Okay, so I think we're okay. Right pin to 0. Okay, let's go back and add our pause. And of course, I can't remember where it is, but I think it's in the basic commands. Let's see. On forever pause. There it is. So go back to your basics and get a pause and put it in. And we're really going to do this twice because we want to tell the servo to go from one position to another. Now, the reason we have the pause is if you make it go too fast, like this is actually milliseconds, ms, and it's really, really fast. If you look over here and click it, you can just barely even see it move because it just goes so fast. So you're going to want to change that to at least a second. And that's how long it will pause before it goes back the other way. You see it moving now? Let's see if it'll do it again. If I set it at 2 seconds, oh, it's not going to do it. Okay. Oh, there it goes. Okay. I know it comes out 2000, but that's because it's 2000 milliseconds. I'm going to set this. It should say 1000. It's set at 1 second. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is the exact thing I just did. I'm going to add a show LED. I'm going to add a servo, and I'm going to add this pause. So I'm going back to basic. I want to get show LEDs. Put it underneath the pause. Now this time I want it to turn, I'm just scrolling down, I want it to go to the right. So this is telling it to go one way and then go the other. So I'm highlighting a right arrow. Now I need my pause, so I'm going to scroll down and go to pins, and I'm going to get, where is it? Servo right pin, this one. And I'm going to click it on. Now remember, this is 180 degrees. So if I wanted my head to go all the way over and then all the way back, I would do 180 degrees, but I don't want the full 180 degrees. So I'm going to make it less. I want it to maybe go 90, maybe a little bit more. And 97, that seems perfect. Okay, I'm going to do that. Let's see if it'll move. I'm watching over here. Okay. That seems like enough for my head to move. I like that. Okay, and now remember I have to add that pause back up to the basic blocks. Grab my, scroll down, find my pause. There it is. Pull that pause out and stick it on the bottom. And again, I want to set it to at least 1 second or longer. Okay. And that's it. That's our program. So I've got the whole program here. It's ready to go. You can see it's moving away over there. All right, awesome. We're to the saving phase. So here I go. Save. Do, 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 do. Oh, there it is. Save. Ooh, excellent. It says show all. Boom, 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 boom. Oops, you know what I've forgotten to do? I have forgotten to plug in my Micropet, so you know it won't show up in the next screen unless I plug it in. So I'm plugging it in. It's lighting up and doing things. Oh, it has a smiley face on it. That's funny. That must have been my last program. Going up here and going, click on Show in Finder. Oops, sorry, wrong. Let's do it again. Show in Finder. There it is. Micropet right there. Cancel that. Let's scroll to my Micropet. There we go. Now I want to drag this. Sometimes it's hard to get these things to highlight properly. Come on, you. You're being annoying. Okay, come here. Let's get you up a little bit. There it goes. Grab it. No. I don't know why it's being so difficult to click on, but sometimes they do that and you just have to persevere. There we go, getting into my Micropet. And I've got yellow flashing going on. Yeah, we know that means it's doing the right thing. My computer usually does a boink noise when it's done, but I'm just watching the yellow flashing till it's done. Doing. All right. I am done with my coding. So I'm going to stop my share. I want to take let me go back. I'm going to take a snapshot of my program. So let's see, go back to, kill this. Oh, my computer's about to die too. That's wonderful. Let's go back to my make code. Oh dear, here it is. We're going to go here and take a picture of it. Actually, I'll do that later. Let me stop my share and pause. Okay, friends. So I have finished my coding, and I'll have a picture of that coding in there for you. I know you can only see like the middle of me. I went ahead and unplugged it. So I've got my microbit programmed, and now I need to do my hard wiring. So let me move my guy here where you can see him. I'm going to raise this up a little bit just because now you can't see it again. It's a lot of difficulty with my filming. I need a filming crew. Okay, here we are. We have our giraffe. We need to get him all programmed. We'll just move him aside for a minute. We've got our micro bit right here. Now you'll notice again on your microbit that you've got several things here. You're going to need your battery pack, but as soon as you attach it, it's going to want to try to make the servo work. So leave it for last. Let's go to these things. Grab your black alligator clip. Remember how it clips. So it's got the thing you squeeze that makes it open like that. And you're going to want to stick it down and into your ground spot. So the one on the end that says GR, I think it says GRD or something. Oh, there it is, GRD. Oops, I'm on the wrong side. There it is. Okay, so you want to find the one that says GRD. I don't know if you can see the little writing on there, but that's the one that you want. Okay, and your next one you're going to want to put on is your red one on the other end. So you have one on each end. Okay, and here's the tricky part. Before we get any more in there, let's go ahead and plug these in to our engine, our servo. So you got to go back to your critter now and find the wire. Where's this wire? There it is. And this is what we're going to plug it into. So you'll notice that this little thing has got a black wire, a white wire, and a red wire. I actually want you to put the black wire into the spot that has the black wire, and be very careful doing it because it's easy to break these off. So you really don't want to force it. You can see that it's kind of square shaped. It's going to need to come out square next to each other. So don't put it in at a diagonal where it will be turned, and just kind of carefully push it in. Oops, it didn't want to fit that way. There it goes. Did you see how I didn't force it? I just turned it. So it didn't want to fit the first way I tried, and I tried the second. So now I've got the black wire lined up with the black wire. Now I want you to take the red wire that's on the other end and line it up with the white wire on the far end. Again, don't force it. If it doesn't want to go, give it a quarter turn. There it goes. I've got those two in. Now I need to put my middle one in. And I believe it worked best when I had it in the 3V right next to the black one. So we're going to click onto the 3V next to the black one right here. So we've got one in the black GRD hole, one in the red, and now we've got a middle one here. And I had you wait to plug that one in so you could make sure and put that one into the middle hole. Again, you're going to have to kind of slide it in there, find the hole, and then push it in. It's good that you have small fingers for this job. It's a good job for small fingers. You can see it's not all the way in here. And so I've got to get it all the way in. It's tricky. I might even need to take this one out and do that middle one first because it's hard to get it in the middle. Ah. Oh, there it goes. It just needed to be turned. So now I've got all three plugged in, the black one, the red one, the red one. Hopefully that is right. We will see in a minute whether he works or not. I'm just going to look at my alligator and make sure that's the way I've got it. Yep, that's the way I've got it here. Okay. We've got him programmed. We've got him hardwired to connect the microbit to this. And the last piece we need is just the engine attached. So here we go. Look on the end, find your engine plug-in, and this is the moment of truth. Oh my gosh, you guys, I can't believe he's gonna work. Ah, his head popped off. Okay, if you have a problem, Remember to unplug him. Oh, and you can see my little microbit is showing left, right. So his head popped off because I knocked into it. I'm just gonna put his head back on. You might need to stop right now and do some taping if it's not strong enough. Oh, I can't even believe he's working. I'm so excited. Here he is. This is my giraffe, Jeff. I don't know why I'm calling him Jeff. It just seemed like a good name for a giraffe. Okay, plugging in my battery pack again. Cross your fingers for me. There Jeff goes. Okay, now you notice I put his head on wrong. So I'm gonna have to try one more time. I'm gonna pay attention to where he stops. There, he's all the way at the front now. So I kind of want him when he's all the way at the front, I'm gonna take him off again. This time when he's all the way at the front, I want him to be down, right? So I'm gonna put him back on. This time at where I want him. So this is where you have to adjust, which is why I didn't do this ahead of time, because I wanted you to see how engineers have to build and rebuild if it doesn't work. Let's try that one more time. This is my third try. Hopefully I got him adjusted. Come on, Jeff. Oh, Jeff, you're beautiful. I love you. Isn't he cute, you guys? And that's your microbit. The last thing we're going to want you to do, and I know I'm like hiding underneath this thing. The last thing we're going to want you to do is to make a video of your microbit and submit it to us so we can see how great it is, and also turn in your project so that the tech department can see what a good job you guys did. So very fun. Have fun building and coding and hardwiring your Micropet. When you are all done, I'll show you what you have to do. And it's sad, I have to say it's sad. But when I'm done with him, I'm gonna have to take out the engine. So I'm gonna carefully take his head off. And that's okay because I actually have to demo this thing for you guys again tomorrow morning. So it's a good thing I'm taking it apart. If you can, take the tape off this little piece and get it ready to go again. If you can't get all the tape off, there are quite a few of these little pieces, so we're probably not the end of the world, but I'm gonna get that ready. I'm gonna put that back in my baggie of pieces. So here it goes back in the baggie, and close that, ready to go back. Now you don't have to take them apart right away. You can keep them alive for about a week, but then you're gonna have to take them apart. Now I have to take off all the pieces and the engine. Here we go, unplug carefully the 3 pins. Take off all the alligator clips, fold them back up. I might even find the wire and reattach them so they're put away carefully in the bag that they came in. And then I'm going to have to take off my engine. I know it's sad. Afterwards, we can tape him together and he can still be something cute on the desk, but I can't keep him like this. So let's see, I'm gonna use my scissors to kind of cut the engine out. This is what you're gonna have to do at the end. I know it's sad when you've created something that's just so beautiful, but it's the way it goes, guys. And this should be a great incentive for you to earn a little money and buy yourself a microbit so you can build your own micropet and keep them going all the time. Ooh, here comes the tape off. My poor pet, he's getting taken apart. Okay, tape's coming off. Oof. Oh, tape off, and get my servo back to normal and put it in the bag, and then make sure I've got all the parts in my bag. So I'm going to go back to this sheet that had all the parts, and I'm going to check and make sure I've got everything. 1 microbit, 1 battery holder, 1 LED, 2 AAA batteries. You can leave them in the pack. 1 servo motor and arms, pigtail clips, USB cable, 2 alligator leads, 1 piezo speaker, that little tiny speaker. Make sure you've got that. Put it all in the bag, and then you'll have to bring the bag back to Flex and turn it in. So I hope you had fun with microbits. Have a great day.